Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of CX Conversations. I'm Matt Simpson, Managing Director at Candyspace, and today we are talking e-commerce, specifically in the B2B manufacturing sector. And I have with me Candyspace's very own Director of e-commerce, Tim McMillen.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, so let's get straight into it. Firstly, Tim, I know you've worked with a lot of B2B manufacturing brands. Maybe you could just tell us a bit about some of those experiences.
Yeah, sure. I think over the last 25 years, I've probably done around about 30 or so kind of B2B e-commerce projects. They normally involve quite complicated scenarios of product information, customer data, experiences, and things like that. And I think the skill that our team brings to these projects is helping to distill those things down and simplifying them where possible and taking away the complexity through kind of technology, doing the hard work and making the customer feel like those things are quite seamless.
Fantastic. So what do you think, given all that experience, are the biggest challenges that B2B manufacturing companies face when it comes to e-commerce, and how do they overcome them?
Without doubt, the number one challenge that all B2B organizations run into when they're starting to think about B2B e-commerce is data, getting their data in shape, the product data, customer data, order information, things like that. B2B is inherently more complex than B2C by its very nature, different buying models and so on and so forth. So I think getting your data in shape is the very first thing you need to do before you start even considering thinking about trying to sell online or through kind of other channels. And then along with that, I think there's some real challenges around changing the hearts and minds of sales teams within B2B organizations. Sometimes they're very kind of protective of the customer and they like to do things the way they've always done them, generally speaking. So getting in front of that with your sales team and helping them realize that actually hybrid selling models or introducing digital into those sales cycles actually is a real benefit for them and for the customer and actually drives more kind of opportunity for them overall.
So if you're the leader of a B2B manufacturing business, what is the best advice you could give them, Tim?
I think it's to continually invest in customer insight, customer research. I think that's the best way to make sure that if you're going to go into B2B e-commerce or digital transformation of some sort, that you're doing the right things, you're doing the things the customers are expecting to see, and by continuing to leverage and elicit that insight, that's the number one way that I think you can avoid being disruptive and to kind of like stop your customers going and perhaps buying from competitors.
We all know that e-commerce technology is evolving rapidly.
Yeah.
What emerging trends and tools are you most excited about that can help B2B manufacturing businesses to scale?
I don't think it's always about scaling or growth for a B2B manufacturer. I think particularly when you're in adverse trading conditions, it's often about actually finding more efficiencies, becoming more profitable by doing things different operationally. So I think with that in mind, I'm really excited to see how a lot of the e-commerce platforms out there that are in the B2B space are starting to leverage AI to help organizations to, change the way they do, mundane operational tasks, process orders, or become kind of more personalized with the recommendations they make for customers.
So what are the top trends you're seeing in the B2B e-commerce space at the moment, and how can businesses adapt to remain competitive?
For a lot of B2B organizations, it's still important for them to start unlocking the power of customer self-service. I think there are some pockets of excellence within the B2B space, but there's still a lot, particularly within manufacturers, of people that are still exploring how can they do customer self-service, how can they do configure price quote tools that customers can do independently of like the main sales team. Automation is a key trend as well. I think it's really important at the moment, helping organizations to become more efficient and to scale the business without adding more people and process to existing processes. And also, I think the technology is now in a place where more B2B organizations are starting to explore marketplaces as routes to market as well.
So when B2B manufacturing businesses come to choose an e-commerce platform, what are the features that they should prioritize in terms of ensuring scalability and long-term success?
First off, they've got to select a platform that natively connects to other systems. Lots of B2B organizations have proprietary or bespoke or quite complex ERP systems. and the need to bring more and more systems into the landscape is greater now than it ever was. So choosing a platform that natively connects is really important. Secondly, you need something that your business users are going to love, something that's easy for them to use, that can get their jobs done faster with. I think that's going to really help with user adoption. And finally, don't make the mistake of choosing a platform that hasn't got a native suite of B2B capabilities. That's something that we've seen over the years that many companies have done, and actually it costs a lot of money to try and build that stuff on the top of something that's more B2C-esque. You want something that's natively B2B.
Brilliant. Tim, thanks so much. Some great insights for B2B manufacturers of all types there. And thanks for the insights and thanks for the time.
No problem at all.